But
Wait. So what does student loan mean that we have criminal?
okay, so basically,
The investment of college.
let's say we're diagramming your propensity to steal stuff, right? And you're thinking about, okay, I see this thing in backwards, and I can just take it and run right out of the room, right? And I wouldn't have repercussions right away. I'd probably have a good day until I had to come back and sleep in my bed, eating macaroons all day, right? But then I get back, and you, the Just Society, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Would visit your wrath upon me, right? And so if I were to do that, I would have a massive criminal discount, future discount rate, right? Like 800%, because obviously it's not worth that to have all of you guys pissed that I basically stole everything. At least for the next 10 minutes while I keep track here. But like more seriously, let's say I'm thinking about shoplifting this thing. I'm in a store thinking about shoplifting. I'm not for the record. I know this might be taped. Doesn't this like unnerving? I'm just incriminating myself. So, how much of a discount rate would I have to? Let's say I think there's a 50% chance I'll get caught. Is that reasonable? Like 50%, half the time they catch you. So I'm going to run out of the store with this macaroon can, and I might have to pay a $60 fine. Right? How much is this thing worth? Like $4. So $4 now, or $60 times 50%, so $30, 3 months down the line, right? So, like, that's about how long it takes. Let's say they were investigating, it takes 3 months for them to catch me, right? Because they need to figure out, there's a fingerprint here. But you can look at people's discount rate. So my discount rate in that case, shoplifting, would be actually much higher than yours. But, say a parking ticket, I bet all of you have gotten a parking ticket if you've ever, done something that might get you a parking ticket. Have you ever parked illegally, Katie?
You're on camera.
I'm sure you have, right? I have gotten a parking ticket, which means, like, my discount rate is fairly high. I just didn't bring quarters, and it wasn't worth the time to find a new parking spot, so I just parked there and I got a parking ticket. It was basically, do I want to pay, $1 to find a parking spot, do I want to pay $15 to find a parking spot now, or $1 to find a parking spot in like 20 minutes? So the way economics is useful, to get back to like Peter's main question, is you can look at your friends, you can look at someone who just stole your watch, and figure out what kind of person is this guy. Is he a guy with a high discount rate? What maximizes his utility function? Obviously, with this discount rate, right, you could create a utility curve. Time, right, and money. And so, let's say I give you $10 now, $11 1 minute from now, and you thought that was a great idea, right? Or 1 month. Right? It had to be 12. And so, from this point, you can sort of say, okay, that's what this guy's sort of function for time and money is. How do you compensate someone? So that's what I'm saying. Any other questions?
Yes. Could it be viewed as an externality issue that so many people who are trying to maximize their utility totally screwed over the world's economy in the process? And that is that the same thing as pollution not being accounted for?
Yes, it's an externality. Okay, so an externality. Shall I tell you guys about externalities? Who really needs to go? Externalities are quite simple. An externality, and this is the last question I'll answer because I'm losing my voice. But an externality is when you fail to internalize a cost. So let's say I ride my bike, right? And I fall a lot. I just beat the shit out of my knees, right? That's not an externality unless you are a Greek and you view the leg as separate from the mind. Right? That's an internal cost. But let's say I hit people on my bike because I'm just terrible at biking. That is an externality because yes, I also get my leg scraped up. I have an internal cost for falling down all the time. I may not want to ride my bike, but I also scrape everyone else's knees up. And that's an externality. Like a good example, this is one of the more useful concepts in economics is, like, you've got a water system, right, with toxic stuff going into it, right? Then this entire water system and the guy who drinks from this water system, who's sort of deformed because he's been drinking toxic water, down the stream is going to have an externality. Because, yeah, these people who run the plant don't like polluted water any more than you and I, but I bet they like it a lot more than the entire world collectively. And if you add up all the utility functions and say, okay, how much are they hurting everyone? Then that's an externality. So yes, the banking crisis is an externality because, like, I'm affected. I'm not a banker, and I don't control any of the banking stuff, but I'm taking a cost that the bankers who fucked up are not taking into account.
Then we should tax them and take away all their money.
I think so, but not because
Or
on the other
fine
hand,
them, not even a tax,
because
a
you have-
fine, a
but
punitive fine.
Well, I think there should be fines for basically screwing over other people, especially if they do it in a dishonest way. Like Bear Stearns AIG sort of hid the fact that they were going under, but I mean, on the other hand, it was an accident, and so you have to look at there are two ways to find people, which I can go into, but basically one says you should find the people who are responsible, and the other says you should find the people who can most easily stop it. So there are a lot of consumers out there who bought shitty mortgages. Should we find them too? Because they're responsible. They didn't know, right, that their mortgages were crappy because the banks told them they were good. But the people who bought the bad mortgages are just as responsible as the banks who sold them.
But the banks are the ones that are knowingly responsible.
Exactly. And so that's why I think there should be a slightly higher penalty for them. But everyone's sort of getting their comeuppance. And people like you and me who probably don't own mortgages, who probably aren't into that kind of culture, are the ones who pay. So I think really, like, the average person, the next generation, is the generation that should be compensated. But how would you figure that out? Anyway, that's all for now. We can, like, talk in the TeaRoom.
And one sec, even though Hastie did at the beginning of his talk said it was going to be informal, let's also applaud him again for not killing us for making his talk very